Hello, are you guys able to hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
loud and clear. Please continue.
All right. So then we offer bachelor's of networking. So so if a student has opted for a general networking program, they can choose to specialize in software engineering, cloud networks, apart from cybersecurity as well. And then we also offer bachelor's of networking with majors into cybersecurity. So student would be covering subjects like information systems, platform technologies, business communication, and then they would also be studying database technologies, project management, network application, apart from industry based project, which is the mandatory part of the curriculum that student has to study. So from the school of IT, we offer bachelor's of networking. So if they opt to specialize in software engineering or cloud network, they can choose their electives from the field of cyber. They can choose their elective from the field of business, networking, or engineering as well. So they can combine it from other relevant areas as well. And the degree is professionally recognized by ACS, Australian Computer Society. And careers that student can opt for would include network architect, network engineer, network manager, sales engineer, system engineer, technical support, network analyst, capacity planner, network solutions architecture. So these are kind of options which are available post completion of the program, and student can also pursue their master's post completion of the program. Now this is a 3-year program spread across over 6 semesters. So we've got March, July, and now October intake has also been introduced, and then we also have November intake. So the course is available in both Melbourne and Sydney campus. So once the student has completed this program, it's totally up to them whether they want to take an exit, they want to work in the industry, or they want to straight away start with their master's program. The unique part of this program, studying bachelor's of networking with us, is that student would be experiencing 2 industry-based projects while they're pursuing their program. So it's an advantage for a student to get an exposure of the industry while they're pursuing their program. Another option available is bachelor's of networking with majors into cybersecurity. Now this is again a 3-year program spread across over 6 semesters. The only thing would be the major part that student would be covering, the major emphasis would be towards the cybersecurity area. And here also student can choose their electives from the field of software engineering, cloud networking, and business electives. So again, the course career opportunities and everything remains same. uh, Basically, if you ask a student, sometimes they come and say that I only want to go for IT program. So it's totally up to us. How are we going to counsel a student? They need to understand what exactly is cybersecurity. So cybersecurity is basically, cybercrime gets more sophisticated, the demand for cybersecurity professional is higher than ever. So this program offers bachelor's of networking with majors into cybersecurity, apart from
I Surabhi, we are not able to hear you at the moment. Hi Surabhi, can you hear me? Hi everyone, I think we are experiencing technical difficulties. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Please stand by. Hello, Suruvi, can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah. We're back. We're back now.
Are you able to hear me? Yeah. Because there was slight confusion related to the network and all that part. So I'll continue from where I think
Sure.
got lost. So bachelor's of networking with majors into cybersecurity and bachelor's of networking where a student can choose to specialize in software engineering and cloud networking, which would also have artificial intelligence as a part of the program, and students can also choose their options from the field of engineering that would have cloud engineering, software defined video communications as well. So this way a student would be having a good exposure from the industry as well. So the entry requirement for this program 8 CPA, we would be having the complete, we would be assessing the profile. Usually we accept a CGPA of 3, but if you have a student who has got more than 2.8, we would be in a position to consider. However, this program at 6 with no band less than 5.5. So the program is professionally recognized by Australian Computer Society. So just to let you know that the networking students are working on an industry-based project, which is they've created a cat facial recognition technology that opens the flap for their beloved pet. So these are kind of that students keep on doing on campus in coordination with the industry people. So in years, Australia, internship experience would be one of the mandatory part of the curriculum. Just to let you know that students, undergrad students for this program would go for 8 weeks full-time industry experience and 16 weeks half-time industry experience. So apart from the industry-based project, they also be having an ability to do a industry-based internship experience project. So students here would be doing their engineering mathematics, digital systems, engineering practice. They would also have a choice to choose their electives from the field of IT, networking, engineering, and business. It is professionally recognized by Engineers Australia, and graduates of the program are eligible for graduate membership of Engineers Australia at the Engineering Technologist level Sydney Accord. So the program is available both on Melbourne and Sydney campus. March, July, October, and November are the intakes. It's a 3-year program spread across over semesters, 6 trimesters. IELTS 6 with no band less than 5.5. Any questions so far?
I just have one query. Someone has been trying to get to Australia on a student visa since July, but due to coronavirus and lockdown, my documentations could not proceed. Can I apply with the same documents for further process? That's the question.
Manish, your voice is breaking. Could you please repeat the question?
Someone had applied at MIT, I think, for the July intake. But you do think, can I apply with the same document for further process?
Yeah, of course. If she's meeting the academic requirement, we would be in a position to consider. She just need to provide us with the complete documentation, and we will be in a position to assess the complete profile and advise if there is, no phenomenal gap. If she's able to substantiate each and everything, we would be in a position to consider. Should not be a problem.
I think she's more concerned about the gap. you know?
Yeah, see, if she's able to provide us the, if she's meeting the English requirement, if she's meeting the academic requirement, gap, definitely we understand because of COVID-19, students are hesitated, you know, bit hesitant, parents are a bit hesitant. So we
Right,
can,
right.
she just need to mention this on the statement of purpose or while during the GT assessment, if she can mention this thing. If it is not really a big concern, we might be in a position to consider. So should not be a problem.
Okay.
So it all depends upon the complete profile, as I mentioned. See, the only thing that I am very, very much clear about is that we might consider a student. See, earlier we had a very academic requirement. We will definitely follow the same. However, if the student is, you know, genuine, is able to explain, is able to provide us with the complete documentation, we would be considered to, you know, see to it and assess the student accordingly.
Okay. Okay, Reshma, I think you have the answer from Surabhi. So we can continue with the rest of the things. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay. No worries. So, Manish, definitely I will be sharing the presentation post the session is done, because I think the moment I am, you know, allowing the screen to be shared, the connectivity is going off. So I'm going to share the complete presentation post this slide, post
Sure,
this
no
session.
problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So when we're talking about the engineering technology telecommunication program, this is only available at our Melbourne campus. The thing that you guys have to keep in mind is that for our telecommunication program and for our networking program, physics and mathematics are the basic requirements or prerequisites. So just make sure that when you have a student who has completed the year 12th and they had the maths A or B, just forward us the mark sheet before so that we can provide you with proper assessment thing, and we can have a look at the profile. And a student must be having physics and mathematics. Students with a commerce background who had mathematics or who had computers as their one of the subjects, they can also apply for you know, program at MIT. Moving forward, from the School of Business, apart from the 4 majors at the undergrad level, at the postgrad level, we offer Masters of Professional Accounting. Now, this is a very unique program. This not only combines or not only delivers the basic accounting subjects, it is a combination of, you know, business, IT, and the undergrad students and the postgrad students would be working on software which is very well connected with the cloud technology. So it's a very unique program. Apart from the accounting subjects like foundation of accounting, business statistics, managerial accounting, students would be covering units like accounting information system, economics. They would also be doing business analytics and data intelligence. They would also be doing accounting research program. Apart from this, as I mentioned previously, industry-based capstone project is a mandatory part of the curriculum. So students, whether they are studying business program or engineering or IT, they have to undergo a mandatory industry-based capstone project. So they will also have an option to choose their electives. So during the normal course, they would be having an option to choose 2 electives. And from the options available are marketing management, professional communication, strategic management, forensic accounting, digital and electronic commerce, and entrepreneurship and innovation. So it's a very unique program wherein student is not only covering basic accounting or business program, they're also combining units from the field of information systems. They're also doing forensic accounting, which is very, very popular these days. One of our students has been picked up by Victorian Police Department as after completion of Masters of Professional Accounting, he's working in the forensic department. So it's a very unique program, very well connected with the industry, and all our programs are designed in very close coordination with the industry, keeping in mind what are the requirements of the industry. Post completion of a program, would the student be having an opportunity to work? So the program is professionally recognized by CPA Australia, CA ANZ, Chartered Accountants in Australia and New Zealand, and IPA, So the important point that you guys have to understand and can include this thing during your counseling is that upon successful completion of the course, graduates will be eligible to apply for associate membership of CPA Australia and IPA, and for the provisional membership of CA-ANZ. Students will also be eligible to apply for the direct entry into the CPA program of CPA Australia, IPA program of IPA, and CA program of CA-ANZ. So, we have often been asked this question that post completion of my program, can I work as an accountant or can I work as a financial advisor? So again, I would say that this is something that as a homework that we guys have to explain to the student that immediately post completion of a program, they cannot work as a professional accountant or professional advisors over there. So if a student wants to work as a graduate accountant, like a CPA accountant, they have to complete their CPA program. If they want to work as a chartered accountant, they can only work as a chartered accountant upon completion of CA program. Credit controller, credit analyst, auditor, financial analyst or consultant, financial planner, they can all only do so after completion of the financial planning qualifications. So these are basic things that we have to guide a student. So we cannot really say that you can work as an accountant immediately after completion of a program. So there are certain standards, certain qualification requirements that they have to fulfill if they wish to work as a professional accountant or professional advisor over there. So the only program where the English requirement is little bit higher, if you have seen, the general English requirement for a program is overall 6 with no band less than 5.5. For this program, it is 6.5 with no band less than 6. And unfortunately, for this program, we are not even able to provide any kind of waivers also. So section 1, section 2, 55% and above. Section 3, 60% and above. All right. So this was about our business professional accounting program at the postgrad level. From the School of Engineering, we offer Masters of Engineering Telecommunication. It is a 2-year program spread across over 4 semesters. And students who have completed their engineering degree in telecommunication, electronics, electrical, IT can consider applying for Masters of Engineering Telecommunication. This is fully accredited by Engineers Australia. And there would be, apart from the project work, there would be internship experience that students have to undergo. So it would be 12 weeks full-time and 24 weeks half-time, or you can say part-time. So while they're pursuing their engineering telecommunication program, they can also choose their electives from the field of engineering practices, network application management, system management, IT security management, virtual private network, system architecture, cloud engineering. So there are a lot of options available for a student. If they are pursuing their Masters of Engineering, they can always take up their electives from the field of IT. Another important thing is that this program is only available, both undergrad, postgrad, only available at a Melbourne campus. It's a 2-year program spread across over 4 semesters, March, July, October, which is the new intake, and November are the intakes available. And student can work, typical roles that they can consider after completion of the program would be telecommunication engineer, telecommunication network planner, telecommunication technical senior officer, national broadband design engineer, and there are options available wherein student can also take up units from the field of networking and IT as well. So section 1, section 2, 55% and above, section 3, 60. English requirement 6 with no band less than 5.5. Any questions so far?
No questions so far. Please continue.
Okay. Sagar has sent a question saying that due to lockdown, IELTS exam has been cancelled. So I want to know that exam will restart, reading, writing, speaking, or given exam will be taken again. All right.
Actually,
So
I was thinking about calling him on his cell phone and letting him know about it, but
all right, great.
That's fine.
Okay. See, we are accepting IELTS indicator as well. We are also accepting TOEFL home-based test as an alternative to the IELTS examination if students are not able to get their the registration for the exam, the dates are not available, they can sit for IELTS indicator test as well as the TOEFL home-based test. Also, just important for you guys to know is that we have extended the validity of IELTS. So as per normal duration, we say it's a 2-year validity, but for the student who are going to apply for July, October, November intakes, it would be 3-year validity. We have extended the validity. So if their score is going to expire, just check with us whether we will be in a position to consider that particular score or not, instead of saying no to the student or asking to retake the test.
Will that have no implications when we make the visa lodgement?
See, to be very honest, if you ask me, for the visa purpose, the validity has to be 2 years. But it's just that if they want to get the offer letter, they should not be putting a hold on to their application. For the application and for the purpose of getting an offer, they can apply.
So basically, just to start the application process.
Exactly.
That's a very good thing. Thank you for that.
Yeah, and for talking about the backlog, because most of the students who are going to pursue their masters in their bachelor, they would be having number of backlogs. So just to let you know, discuss the profile with us. We are flexible enough to see, if the student has completed in 4 years duration time frame, or as per the stipulated time frame, if they've completed their degree, number of backlogs doesn't matter, but it should not be more than 15, I would say. So just make sure if a student has got 15 backlogs, 20 backlogs, just discuss the profile with us. All right. Okay. So next program from the School of IT that we offer is Masters of Networking. So this program basically is for the students who have completed their IT degree and are looking forward to specialize in networking, network design, network administration, network security, as well as students considering a career in networking. So basically this program is all about, student can choose to, or options are there where they can specialize in cloud networking, cybersecurity, and software engineering. So these would be the 3 major areas that they can choose if they go for a general networking program. Course is available in March, July, October, which is the intake, November. Melbourne and Sydney location, the 2 spread across over 4 semester. IELTS requirement is 6 less than 5.5. So work integrated learning is basically that our postgrad students would be more or less inclined towards. So industry-based projects are designed to provide students with real-world experience working for an industry client on a project focusing within the discipline of study. So at times, students often ask us this question that how can I get in touch with the industry, industry people, or do I need to look forward for the project on my own? Yes, they can look for the project on their own, but in case if they are not able to get the project on their own, they would get an assistance from MIT. They need to get in touch with the student engagement department, which is one of the strongest department at MIT. And they need to get in touch with them. They need to express their keen interest towards the project, or they need to let the student engagement advisor well in advance, tell them that I am looking forward for a certain project into my own area, whether it's a part-time, full-time, just need to get in touch with them. And the student engagement team would be in touch with the students from day one, during the orientation when they are on campus. They would be having a session with the student engagement team as well. So the careers that student can choose post completion of the working include
Hi, Surabhi, we're not able to hear you at all. I think it's the connection again. Hello, everyone. I think Surabhi is experiencing some technical difficulties again. Please bear with us. We'll be back with you very soon.
Hi, Manish, are you able to hear me?
Yeah. Now you're back now.
Yeah. All right. So, Masters of Networking Cybersecurity majors basically suit students who completed IT degree and are looking forward to become a specialist in cybersecurity, as well as students career considering a career in cybersecurity and networking, accredited by Australian Computer Society. While they are pursuing the cybersecurity majors, they would still have an option to specialize in cloud networks, network management, software engineering. So these three would be like a kind of electives that would be offered to the student. So industry-based project is designed to provide students with real-world experience working from an industry client on a project focusing within the discipline of study. Entry requirement would be Section 1, Section 2, 5% and above, Section 3, 60%, and IELTS 6 with no less than 5.5. So we've got a students who are currently working with Westpac Bank, Indicated Technology, Tata Consultancy Services, Reserve Bank of Australia. So not only the IT people are now employed with the within the IT industry, banks, various business groups, so that they're working with a lot of big companies. So just to give you an idea where our graduates are working, so we've got our association with Telstra, IBM, NAB, Victoria Police, KPMG, Cisco, Google, Microsoft, Myers. So while they're pursuing their studies like networking program with cybersecurity majors or without cybersecurity majors, they would also have an option to experience with the Riverbed networking technology. So when an employee, once you've completed your degree, the skills that you would have enabled would help you fetch a job. So this is something that you guys have to keep in mind. So I'm talking about the tuition fee for this year. Business faculty has offered scholarship worth $500 each semester. So Masters of Professional Accounting, the fee structure is 9,018 or 518 per semester. Business, accounting, management, digital marketing, and marketing majors at the undergrad level, the fees is 8,487 per semester. After scholarship, it is 7,987 Australian dollar per semester. This is the only faculty that is offering scholarship as of now. Bachelors of Networking with majors into cybersecurity, it's 9,785 Australian dollar. Masters of Networking with majors into cybersecurity, it's 10,300 Australian dollar. Masters of Engineering Telecommunication and Bachelors of Engineering Technology Telecommunication, it's $11,000 per semester. So any questions so far?
Could you repeat the fee for MPA again, please? Someone is asking.
Masters of Professional Accounting.
Right.
The fees is 9,018 Australian dollar per semester. After scholarship, it's 8,518 Australian dollar per semester.
So, Miss Pooja Konda, I think you have the answer there. And the IELTS score required for MPA is 6.5, no less than 6.
Yes.
And I've got another question from Reshma Devi. She has already deferred her offer letter twice. Can I do it the third time?
I have almost 2 years education gap. Can I apply for Australia? All right. So, what kind of you have to explain us or provide us with your complete academic documentation and provide us the reason about the gap. Did you work anywhere? Were you able to get the salary was transferred into your account? You have to provide us everything in detail so that we can assess it further.
Mhm. Okay, actually, I was gonna ask you another question from Reshma Devi. She has got 2 offer letters already. I think it's the deferred one. Can I get it a third time? That's her question.
Yes, as I mentioned, please provide us with the deferment form.
Mm-hmm.
Go through the academics and we'll see to it. When did you finish your last qualification and what were you doing during that year? So I understand that student would have tried applying for during this time, but due to COVID could not. So
Yeah.
provide us with the complete documentation and explanation. We will consider the request, and if it is acceptable, we would proceed ahead.
Okay. So the next question asks for something we have already discussed, but I think we can answer it one more time. It's from
Yeah.
Darshan. He
Yeah.
has 16 IELTS and wants to apply for MNET. Can I apply? If yes, can I get some scholarship as well?
Unfortunately, Darshan, the scholarship is only available as of now from the School of Business. But if you compare the fee structure with other education providers, our fee structure is quite economical as compared to the other education providers.
Could you please
So
get
if
the
you want
details of
to
the
see
scholarship
what
available?
I can suggest you is that Masters of Networking.
No, I mean, could you please explain us what scholarship is available in what course for the participants?
Only School of Business is offering $500 scholarship per semester.
Okay.
Undergrad, postgrad, both, it's $500.
Okay.
Yeah. And for networking, cybersecurity, unfortunately, we don't have the scholarship as of now. So there are options available wherein a student can apply for MIT Excellence Scholarship, but to be very honest, it's going to be a little difficult for a student because the English requirements and the overall GPA are quite higher. Requirement is higher for the student to apply for the Excellence Scholarship, and they have to provide us with the 500 word statement of purpose explaining as to why did they think that they should be considered for the scholarship. So there are options available. So you can go onto the website, have a look at the requirements and apply accordingly. So we've got MIT International Excellence Scholarship and MIT Academic Achievement Scholarship. So students can also visit the website, have a look at each and every detail about the course structure, content, fees. And in case if there's a question, I'm more than happy to assist them. For July intake, as I mentioned, we've started our classes online. Till the time there is a travel restriction, students can continue to pursue their education online. So we all are waiting for the travel restrictions and COVID-19 to this particular situation to get over so that students can be allowed to go on campus for the face-to-face interaction. See, for the students who were a bit hesitant to join July intake online, I've been explaining it to the counselors, I've been explaining it to the students as well, that this would always have a positive impact towards their visa application, because they're not required to apply for the visa as if now. They can start with their classes, they can start with studying 1 or 2 units online, and when travel restrictions are lifted, they can proceed ahead with the visa lodgement. This would have positive impact on the visa application. The visa officer would consider that when a student was given an option to study or online, when the institution was offering them a course online, that would show their dedication, their genuine interest to study. So this would always have an impact towards a positive impact towards the visa application. students, while they are in their they're in their home country, they can have an access to the facilities that are available for the students while they would be pursuing their classes, face to face as well. So the lectures are being delivered by the same academics. They would be meeting them on campus. So at least they would be in a position to establish a network for them, for themselves before they are on campus. So they would.
I also wanted to add that students at any stage of the application process can choose to study online by taking minimum of 2 subjects.
Yes. So bachelor students, mandatory, they have to, for bachelor's, master's, both, they have to go for two subjects, 2 units. Yeah. So it is going to be a very, I would say that they would be experiencing the same support from the academics, from the student services department as well. If they wish to get in touch with one of the fellow students, they can always do so through student portal. That would student get an access. If they want to accept the offer, they would be given an access. The proper orientation has been done for the students who have started their classes online from this July intake. So if you're still interested for July intake, we can provide you with an extension and you can commence your classes online for July intake. Or if you are looking forward for future intakes, you can just go onto the website, have a look at the course content, structure, industry collaboration, how are we connected with the industry. In fact, what I would suggest is that share their thoughts, share their videos, so you can get in touch with them whenever you want to. If you've started your course, you're not sure about anything, you just need to get in touch with the academic coordinator, write them an email, ask them for the assistance. Academic coordinator is going to get in touch with you. They're going to give you a call, because they also understand that students, that we all are together in this particular situation. So you're going to get a complete support from our side. We have our office in India. If you are facing an issue, you can get in touch with the India team, and then you can eventually get in touch with the onshore team as well.
Okay, I do not have any more queries at the moment, so I just wanted to talk about one last subject matter, which is very prominent these days, COVID-19. I can definitely say that MIT is one of the most loved education providers in Australia among Nepalese students. It also shows by the number of students we enroll there, every intake. So, in your opinion, what do you think was the impact of COVID-19 on students studying at MIT at the moment, and what steps did MIT take to ensure that that impact was at a minimum?
Yes, definitely. As I mentioned, that this COVID-19 has impacted almost everyone while in their home countries. So what support we did, we've actually announced a kind of assistance, financial assistance to the students. So the details are available on the website also. So students who started their classes in March but could not join due to COVID-19, we've been provided them with the assistance. We have been providing them with the in terms of I beg your pardon, sorry, the mic went on mute. So yes, we have provided them with the assistance in terms of financial. We have also provided them in the students who started their classes online. If they were facing issues, they were allowed to get in touch with the student advisors. Luckily, or I would say that fortunately, we've got a very good feedback from the students who started their classes online. Students who were already there on camp, in Australia, but could not be on campus. So they've been very, very happy with this kind of a support that they've got from MIT.
Are situations any different in Sydney and Melbourne campus, or is it the same because of COVID-19?
Sorry, I didn't get your question, Manish.
Are situations in both the campuses same?
Yes, definitely. Yes,
okay.
Definitely. See, for both the campuses, 24/7 student advisors, student support services is there. if the students are in a, in a requirement of a counseling session, if they are, some, obviously when we have a student who just leaves the country, their home country, they get into a cultural shock. But this time, apart from the culture shock, they had to face so many other issues as well. So we had student counseling advisors there, who were there to support the students if they wished to, if they wanted to have a word with them. As student support services actually did a tremendous job in assisting each and every student over there.
Okay. Thank you very much for the answers and all the information that you have provided us today.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure having you here with us. And we hope to talk to you soon with some more applications for MIT.
Definitely. I'm looking forward for that part, and I'm looking forward to support each other like we have always done. And Grace has been really helpful, and they've been supporting us, and it's mutual. So definitely, if you need another session like this where you want us to cover other programs also, we will be in a position to support you guys. So let us know so that we would be in a position to help you out, or we can do a joint session again.
No problem.
I think there's one question from Sagar where he's asked for total fee for IT and how much score is needed. So Sagar, is it a bachelor's program that you're asking for, or is it a master's program that you're asking for?
Hello, Saga, if you can hear us, could you please tell us if it's bachelor's or master's? Bachelor's, it is. So he's inquiring for bachelor's in IT or networking, I must say. Hello, everyone. I think Survi has some technical difficulty again. We hope to have her back soon, but if she does not, I think we should end this session. Thank you all for participating. And we'll get back to you all with answers for all your queries very soon. Thank you and have a good day.